puts the blanket on his shoulders or it gets the cold again. Welcome back to WayTooBroad.
Welcome to back.
Tell program.
Welcome to back.
Welcome to back. It's been so long. To WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my two strange acquaintances who I haven't seen in weeks. Aaron and Ben.
Hi, Hannah. You're supposed to say hi, Aaron. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Ben.
Hello, you twos.
Wow, it's been so long.
Wow, it's been so long. I'm so nervous. What if we don't get along anymore?
What if we don't know what to say to one another?
Yeah, what if we don't have a million things to say that we've been saving up for like 3 weeks? Let's talk about the structure of this episode, because we've been away from each other for so long. I saw Ben a little bit. He didn't see me, but
she was hiding. I could hear her, but I could never find her.
but you know, there's a lot to catch each other up on. There's a lot to catch listeners up on. Some of it like life related, some of it former obsession related, and some new things that probably would have been obsessions if we were recording. So I kind of thought and forced upon you two that maybe instead of doing like a regular episode with what was bound to be an incredibly long upfront section, we could just do like a oops all upfronts episode where we just like catch up and do a lot of like what Wonderful would call small wonders, and also like talk about what we've been doing in the last 2 weeks and stuff like that.
I love it. And it's a tasteful nod to Captain Crunch Oops All Berries.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was entirely intentional.
A delicious, tasteful nod, yeah.
Delicious, nutritious cereal.
I loved that cereal.
We were never allowed to have cereals like that in our house growing up.
That's not true at all.
Really?
I ate almost exclusively Cinnamon Toast Crunch through like all of elementary school.
I feel like Ian gets Frosted Mini Wheats, and I always make fun of him, or I guess I was mentally making fun of him, and then when I verbally made fun of him about it being a kid's cereal, he was like, "No, it's not. It's like mostly shredded wheat, like a whole shredded wheat."
We definitely did have a lot
of
Frosted Mini Wheats though too.
Yeah, Frosted Mini Wheats is like an adult sweet cereal because it's like not very sweet and it's mostly fiber.
Yeah, and it like takes a while to. It's like you get a little bit of sugar, but it's mostly like chewing. Yeah, is the experience.
But we definitely also had sugary cereal.
Okay, well, I don't remember.
Hannah didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the youngest. Maybe you didn't.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here, is that the baby is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I got whatever I wanted immediately when I asked for it.
Truly does happen.
Truly does. I have so many examples of this as the much older sister to much younger siblings. Yeah. I'm very intimate with this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. What order should we do? What are we drinking in? Is my first.
I think it's just continue the order.
Oh, okay.
Pop and a push.
Okay, then I'll tell you what I'm drinking.
The old Paparino.
Please do.
Pusharooski.
Well, I only have one drink right now, but it's because my second drink is still being made.
So you should go first.
It'll turn up. Yeah, maybe Aaron should go first.
Okay, hi. I'm having a Camelback full ice water. And a flippin' Trader Joe's ginger lemon seltzer, which is so good and gingery. If you still haven't had it, it's delicious.
That does sound good.
It's a Trader Joe's ginger and lemon juice seltzer. Lemon and ginger juice seltzer.
Wow.
Really good, really gingery.
I live like 2 seconds from a Trader Joe's now.
Go get it. It's just 4-pack. It's not economical, but it is delicious.
Ben, what are you drinking?
I got ice water, a cup of ice water, and I got about half a cup of Trader Joe's spiced cider.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting.
The alcoholic variety or what?
Nah, just the regular.
That's chill.
Do they have an alcoholic spiced cider at Trader Joe's?
Yeah, they used to carry one. They might not anymore. I think when I went to go look for it last time, it didn't have it, and it was like dope. It was so dope.
That sounds really good. I love hard cider and cider in general.
You know, someone who might have an alcoholic spiced cider is me.
Wow.
Oh, wait, really?
Thank you. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great. How long were you standing there?
No more than 3 or 4 minutes.
So this, which I can't drink yet because it's still kind of hot, is a mulled cider with some whiskey in it.
Nice.
Yeah. Ian loves to mull drinks.
What does
wine and cider
mull
and stuff.
mean? What does it mean to do? What do you do to it?
It thinks about it for a while. You think about it for a little while before you make it.
You heat it up with your brain waves.
You mull over it.
So mulling a drink means that you just take like either there's like some you can get mulling spices or you can just like pick spices that you have, which I think is what he did here, and you just like put them in like a pot with it's like making hot chocolate on the stovetop kind of, but you put instead of putting chocolate into water, you put spices into wine or cider and just like heat it up for a while.
I love
chocolate
wine.
into water.
No,
You make hot cocoa with water, not milk.
Or milk, whatever.
Come on.
You're focusing on the wrong thing. So we could call hot chocolate mulled chocolate. Mulled
like
milk.
mulled milk.
No, it's mulled milk. Or mulled water if you're Hannah, I guess.
Tea is mulled water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mulled water. There you go. You're catching on.
Now you've got it. It's yummy. Oh, that's really good. That'll keep me from getting cold. My worst possible scenario. All right, let's see. Voicemails? You want to do voicemails?
Yeah, let's do voicemails.
Okay, cool. We got 3.
Choice mails. We got 3.
We got 3 voicemails. One of them is very short. It's like a follow-up to a previous voicemail. Like a voicemail that happened right before that. Listen, you'll understand. Okay, so you want me to read the transcriptions first?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the first one. This is from August 29th from our brother Lucas. Not your brother, Aaron.
Okay.
Don't try and take him from us.
Okay.
Hi, it's Lucas, you bro, and I've been listening, and I've been loving it, and there's one thing I am obsessed with animation to you. But you were talking about that on the last episode, and there's 2 things in the recap you guys talked about. Children of Whales, it's a Netflix anime that Ben has recommended, and I watched that too. And for most of it, I've been burning to tell you guys about this, has been mentioned in it again. But ever since I watched that, it seemed like decent most of the way through. But then they got to a point where it's like a big, everyone lives in sand. It's for some reason, it all takes place in the desert in this anime. It's important context, but I decided to have like a big festival that they have on every year. They have their big yearly festival, and it's a sand fight. And at that point, they animated the exact point. I was like, this is just ridiculously unrealistic, because, yep, having fun throwing sand in each other's faces, and it just makes no sense. And I don't know. I thought y'all thought that would think that's funny. Yeah, so that's something else I wanted to say about animation too, but I forgot it. Probably enough recording. Anyway, good, much, great, love, great pot. Yeah, good talk to about. Is it?
Oh my god, I really can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
I actually got a warning that this specific voicemail was coming when I was in Massachusetts.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, here we go.
Hey, it's Lucas, your bro, and I've been listening, and I've been loving it. And there's one thing I'm obsessed with animation too. You were talking about that on the last episode. And there's two things. In the recap, you guys talked about Children of Wales. It's a Netflix anime that Ben has recommended. And I watched that too, and for most of it, I've been burning to tell you guys about this, and Ben mentioned it again, but ever since I watched that, it was like decent most of the way through, but then they got to a point where it's like a big, everyone lives in sand. It's, for some reason, it all takes place in the desert in this anime. It's important context. But, they decide to have like a big festival that they have every year. They have their big yearly festival, and it's a sand fight. And at that point in the anime, at that exact point, I was like, this is just ridiculously unrealistic, because they're all having fun, throwing sand in each other's faces, and it just makes no sense. And I don't know, I thought y'all would think that's funny. Yeah. So, there's something else I wanted to say about animation too, but I've forgotten it. Probably enough recording anyway. Good, much love. Great pod. Yeah. Good talking to you.
The transcription was pretty good.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah.
The transcription was surprisingly good.
It was pretty good. It was sort of like you heard that message twice.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But, yeah, that is ridiculous.
Although,
would hurt.
I have a bone to pick, or I guess this is more of a point of discussion that I've actually, it's something I've thought about for a while. I've thought a discussion to pick. How do you guys feel about when people talk about like things being unrealistic in like fantasy and sci-fi shows like that?
I mean, that really struck me when he said that, because I was like, Children of Wales. I mean, I haven't watched it, but it feels like there's probably a lot of fantastical elements. But there is something to be said for something like that,
right,
where it's so like, I mean, it's like close enough to be kind of stupid.
When I was watching it, this didn't, like, that never occurred to me at all that was weird. So I don't really remember that part of it at all. So I think there's like maybe more context or meaning or something else happening that makes that make more sense, but I really don't remember. So maybe it's just weird. Yeah, they're human.
Then I feel like it can't.
I feel like Lucas just draws the line. Lucas draws the line at sand fights.
If you're a human with regular human eyes, then that would not feel good.
The man's got standards.
Yeah, but don't people like, I don't know, I feel like there are festivals and other things that involve
there's like the color festival in India.
There's like a tomato fight in Italy.
Yeah, there's like things like that where people hurt each other and themselves on purpose for the sake of tradition.
Both of those things are softer. Have you ever gotten sand thrown in your eyes?
I've gotten sand in my eye. I don't think I've ever had it thrown in my eye.
Think of like getting sand in your eye, but it's weaponized. That's what it's like.
Have you had sand thrown in your eyes, Hannah?
I feel like I have, but I can't cite specific instance.
Shout out to Lucas as well, who just got flipping married.
Yeah. Okay. The other two voicemails are also from him. I'm going to roll through this one. I'm going to roll through this one because it's real short. This is something he called it to say right after he remembered the other thing he wanted to say that he forgot at the end there. Okay, here's this.
Hey, it's Lucas again. I remember the other thing. Hannah 200% watched Steven Universe. It made me weep beautiful tears so many times, and it has so much great music, so much great voice acting, so many great. It's great. 200. Watch it. I sec the rec. Peace.
200. I sec the rec. 200.
I want to say I've talked to Lucas about Steven Universe since then, and I've also finished the series and the movie. And I love it. I love it. And apparently I've now seen more of it than he has, because when I started trying to talk to him about the later seasons, he was like, I'm not sure I've seen any of that. So,
he needs to sec your rec.
He needs to sec. We don't say it like that, remember? All right. So this one is from 3 days ago as we're recording, which would be September 16th. Also from Lucas, a quick little one. But speaking of the news that Aaron spoiled.
Thanks, Aaron.
Oh,
God.
I didn't No.
Hold on. Okay, I haven't heard this yet. Okay, here we go. By the way, no, I'll tell you after. 3, 2, 1, here we go. No, I did that.
Hi, WayTooBroad.
Hi.
This is Lucas.
Federica. Thank you for announcing me twice.
We're here and, we got married not very long ago.
Yeah, so we're very excited about this.
Yeah. Very excited about marriage.
Very, very excited about marriage. Great.
Do you have any big shout outs to the WayTooBroad crew?
You guys are amazing. You're funny as heck. Heckin' funny. Oh my goodness, why is it all me? Like,
I don't know. Alright. Well, just wanted to, put some Federica voice on your show, because it's great voice.
the accent.
Yeah, well, we love you, and your show's great, and your pants are great. Bye.
Yeah, great pen.
Great pants. Bye.
Great, what?
I don't know.
Pens?
Check the transcription.
It's really funny. It's nothing like
Already dead. Oh, no. That's what I was going to say is that Federica, I don't know if I've mentioned that when Lucas listens, he usually listens together with his now wife, Federica. So they're both fans of the show, which is really sweet. Yeah.
So they've been doing a lot of long drives lately.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to the family, Federica.
Yeah, she's great.
She's wonderful.
And they're very happy.
Everyone's met her now except for you, Aaron, in the podcast group.
She's probably coming
a
Thanksgiving.
lot of our family hasn't. Great. Awesome. I highly recommend, 10 out of 10 recommend, 200 would recommend Thanksgiving.
I suck the wreck.
I suck the wreck as well.
200.
200.
Okay, yeah. So shout outs to Lucas and Federica for sending us all the voicemails we received, and much more importantly, getting married.
Yeah, congratulations. Sorry,
Congratulations.
spoiled the news. I just thought you
Congratulations.
guys weren't going to mention it. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, other things that have happened since we left. Great British Bake Off is back.
Oh my gosh, 1 out of flipping time.
Yeah.
I know.
I know some very, I guess, people with really strong wills who are, saving them all until they can binge them. And I'm like,
Wow.
Nah, I can't.
nah, as soon as it's ready, I'm like...
You see Bread Week there and you're not going to watch that right away? Come on. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. And they're back to the shenanigans. There's always someone who, has never apparently watched the show because they're up in the tent oh, I haven't tried this recipe yet.
Yeah.
You know? Or I'm adding more fruit than I normally
doubling the
do.
fruit.
Doubling the fruit.
Listen, bruh, it's not gonna be cooked. I know. And then it's not cooked. And you're like, I'm not even a baker.
I've never made a fruitcake, but I fucking know that. Don't double your
I know.
fruit.
Don't double your fruit.
I feel like if you have a successful recipe and then you randomly double any one of the ingredients, it's gonna fuck something up.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Hannah. That dinner last night was so good. Let me make that recipe again and double the salt.
Yeah. Just try it out. It'll be fine.
Weird. Why did this?
It's
why is
so
this
much
shitty?
saltier.
Yeah. So, or there's always somebody who uses matcha. They never like it.
No,
they
Paul
never like
hates
it.
matcha, you guys. Paul hates matcha. It's
Listen,
just how it is.
we know this. We're not even British. Good on you. Make matcha bread at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Don't roll up into the Great British Bake Off and use matcha. You flip.
It's not British. It's not baked.
Because Paul Hollywood's
Don't
going
be
to
a
tell you it
hero.
tastes like grass.
Don't be a fucking hero. Okay?
Don't be a fucking hero.
I like
Anyway.
all of the bakers this season, though. I think there's not one that I except for fucking old ball and chain Phil guy who always has to make a comment about how he does what his wife tells him to do and just be a typical straight white man.
Oh,
There's not one baker who you know what, except that asshole.
Is that the Costco Stroop?
Yeah, this is a Costco Stroop.
And give us an update on the Costco Stroop situation.
You know, I don't think it's as good as a Daleman's.
What's the brand?
Oh, you know what?
I wanted to ask you.
I actually have a Daleman's. I could do a side-by-side.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's called Original Stroop Waffle. Like, that's literally what it's called. I don't have another product of Holland, so that's promising. Yeah, they seem a little thicker, like they have more caramel in them.
They look thicker.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm there for.
They're not bad. They're delicious. So that's from Costco right there.
That's nice.
Yeah. I think you get like 40 when you buy my Costco.
That's a lot of nuts.
Yeah, it's all true.
Keeping on the Netflix train for a second, so we don't have to hop trains. As you guys know, Terrace House is also back with a season called Tokyo 2019-2020, which will be going for a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, one season. So that's cool.
Does that mean like a shit ton of episodes for you?
Yes, it does, but they still come in. So in past seasons, they've come in. They've come in 8-week blocks, 8-episode blocks. And this season, they seem to be coming in 12-episode blocks. So I think I'll have to be waiting even longer in between when they drop. But then when they drop, I'll get more. It doesn't matter because I'll finish them in a weekend no matter what.
Right, yeah. That amount of time will stay constant.
Yeah. So I've watched the whole first part and it was really good. It really kicked off really quickly at the beginning, and then that's all I'm going to say about it. I also want to give a shout out to the podcast No Script at All, who actually were the first ones. They're a Terrace House podcast, and they were the first ones to alert me to the fact that the show was available, because they actually arranged it this time so that they got the first episode ahead of time and were able to put out their first episode about the first episode of the new season the day it came out.
Oh,
wow.
That's cool.
Yes. So thanks to them for that. And shout outs to them for being a very good podcast about a very good show that everyone should watch.
How's Terrace?
That's premiere. How's this house, more importantly?
It's really beautiful, actually. It's like a 3-story house with a rooftop terrace. It always has to have a terrace.
It has a terrace? That's
Yeah.
great. Does it always have a terrace?
Yeah, it always does. And an indoor pool as well.
Oh.
Just a little guy, but
like a hot
and
tub?
it's in Tokyo? I'm guessing
It's in
based on the
Tokyo.
name.
yes, it is in Tokyo. I don't know where in Tokyo, but
Shibuya? Shinjuku?
I mean, they go to
Wow.
Shibuya and stuff.
Akihabara?
They go all around town. All around the
I
town.
don't remember the name
That's flexing.
I don't remember where I stayed in Tokyo. I just realized I can't remember the name of the neighborhood I was in.
Wow, your flex kind of
Yeah, it really went
fizzled out there, my friend. Speaking of
Very
Tokyo,
good.
are we excited for the 2020 Olympics or freaking
Yes,
what?
of course.
God, I'm so excited.
Did you see the Nippori? That's where I was.
Great.
Nipple ring?
Yeah, nipple ring. Did you see the mascot for the 2022 Olympics?
No.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Hold on. I will send to you.
Where is that going to be?
Beijing.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to talk about my Tamagotchi because the battery died and it's annoying because I can't find a...
That's like real death.
Yeah, it real died.
Oh my gosh, I have an upfront thing. Oh wait, let me look at this.
Cute.
Oh wow, it's so sweet. It's like a little panda
With a rainbow face.
in like a plastic
It's ice.
sheath.
It's an ice suit.
Oh.
Wow.
Its name
I didn't
is
get that
Bing
either.
Duen Duen.
Oh.
I feel like it can't move around. It's like frozen in ice.
No, you can ice skate and everything.
Why did you give us two as this image? Why did you upload it twice?
The first time
One's
it
not
said,
significant?
listen, the first time I sent it, it said couldn't send, tap to try again, and then I tapped to try again and it sent it twice.
Why did you send it twice?
It's one for
the
each of
same
us,
picture.
Aaron.
Okay. I'll download the first one. You download the second one.
Okay.
Done.
I love the rings around his little face.
Yeah, it's so cute. I have an upfront thing. B. Steadwell, who Hannah and I are seeing this weekend.
Woo!
Very exciting. She said to say hi to her after the show. I might have emailed her. It's fine. She released a Queer Pop Songs album on Spotify, I think in July, but I just noticed it the other day. And it's amazing. And it contains songs that I have from Bandcamp, but she's like reproduced some of them. She's re-recorded some of them. It's dope. Some songs I've never heard. What a treat. Check it out. Queer Pop Songs.
What a gift
Spotify.
for us right before we're driving in the car all the time to see her.
Driving in the car all the time.
I don't think we're going to end up driving all that much.
Aren't you both flying to DC?
No. I'm driving a lot. Molly and I are all the time. Molly and I are driving up to. It's a whole complicated thing. Molly and I are driving up to Maryland tomorrow.
Oh,
Then Saturday morning, staying at her parents' house. Saturday morning, I drive to Baltimore to pick Hannah up.
me.
Then we drive to DC
Why are you going to Baltimore? Is it cheaper?
because Hannah's flying into Baltimore. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was asking why Hannah was flying into Baltimore.
because we're spending the weekend together to go see Steadwell. It's musical.
Right, but it's in DC, right?
Yeah.
It was
complicated.
cheaper, but it was also sort of a mistake. But
How far is
Hannah-
Baltimore from DC?
It's like
It can't be that far.
an hour and a half.
Maryland's small.
And
Yeah.
it's not Baltimore proper. It's like the airport's like in between Baltimore and DC, which Molly told me again and again while I was on the phone with Hannah trying to find a hotel.
she kept yelling, "It's the Baltimore Washington Airport!" in the background.
I feel like Hannah and I have had other problems in the past with Hannah booking airline tickets. I just feel like she gets to a point where she's just impatient with the whole thing and wants it to be over. That being said, I almost booked us a hotel room for the wrong fucking day. Like, I was literally about to press checkout, and I was like, it was like book without refund, and I was like, let me just double check the dates. Holy shit, that was not the right
Okay.
date. So,
But in your defense, it is so much closer to Baltimore than it is to DC.
Yeah.
Like, why is it even called the Baltimore Washington?
Well, that's the thing. I just was looking at Washington area airports. So I picked that one. And then I was like, oh, I wonder where it is exactly.
by the time this comes out, we'll have already seen each other and frolicked around and seen the musical, which I'm sure is amazing and all that.
Yeah.
What's the musical called?
A Letter to My Ex.
Mm-hmm. What
Sounds
do you think
good.
it's about?
I think it's probably about a letter. I think the letter is the main character.
Oh, interesting.
It's all from the perspective of a letter to her ex.
Oh.
Well, I guess we'll have to
Interesting.
find out. By the time we're hearing this, we'll know whether you were right or wrong. I think I already know, but
I think I already know.
But we can't be sure. None of us have seen it yet.
I'm very excited about it. I want to give a big shout out to our mom, Aunt Brown, who has been excelling in her hip surgery recovery. She's already
She's
off
killing
of her walker and now just has to walk around with a cane.
Wow, chill.
Mm-hmm. So
Way to
she's
get
like,
it.
At
And
this
she
point,
can drive
halfway
again?
through. She can drive again. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So great job, Mom. Great
Great
hip.
new hip. Congratulations.
Congratulations. What else is on your list,
Congratulations on your
Erin?
new hips. Oh my gosh, I have so much on my list. Okay. So that's funny. I have one thing on here twice. I have less than I thought on my list. Okay. So we skipped a few weeks, and in the meantime, like on our vacation, Molly and I started playing this game that we've been playing almost daily, like practically daily ever since our vacation. And it's Skipbo. Have you guys ever played Skipbo?
No.
No.
From the makers of Uno?
No. Wait, really?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just this like very colorful like Uno. It's nothing like Uno, but it's just this card game. And Molly and I play it like every day.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we've been playing. We'll play it like during dinner, or like before dinner, or like after dinner, or like at brunch. Like we've been playing it like practically every day that we like can. If we haven't played it in a day, it's not because we didn't want to or feel like it. It's just because like we didn't have time to.
Wow.
Skipbo. Yeah.
Wow. How do you play it?
So you have like a wood pile that you're trying to get rid of.
Okay.
And that's like your, one at a time, you flip it over and you have a
Sounds
card
like
face
nerds.
up. Yeah, it's kind of nerds-like in that way. So there's like 4 piles in the middle that go from 1 to 12 that you can add to, and you like get 5 cards at every turn. Like you have 5 cards in your hand at the beginning of every turn. And so you're basically just trying to get your wood pile down. So unlike nerds where you're trying to get the most cards in play as possible, you're just trying to clear your wood pile, and the first person who does that wins. And so it's like everything you do is in service to like truly just getting rid of your wood pile. So there are certain constraints, like there can only be 4 piles in the middle. You have a discard pile. It can only be 4 cards in that. And, so there's some like little logics, but it's like not very hard, but it is really fun. Cause there's little streaks that you get. There's kind of a lot of like lulls, and then there are little streaks that just is like a hit of dopamine. Just like, just pop in your brain. So
I love a good card game.
Yeah. We
There's
love
some
it.
little
What you said
setups.
Thanksgiving.
You can just like play them real quick. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
we
you know what
love
else is
those
fun?
ones.
Speaking of old-fashioned games,
What?
bingo.
Bingo.
Y'all ever play bingo?
Not really, no.
I like to do bingo in my head. Like, if I'm with somebody who retells a lot of the same stories or says a lot of the same things, I'll do like, this person story bingo. But that's more like a private game I play.
We had a company outing yesterday, and one of the things they did was like they had 2 full hours of towards the end of the day where you could just take as many bingo cards as you wanted, and you were playing for like prizes that were like discontinued product that my company makes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I won some soup mugs, but like I
want some soup.
I want some soup.
Mugs.
Discontinued soup.
I want some soup mugs.
But yeah, I had like 6 cards going at once at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pro level.
Isn't bingo just luck, though?
It is and it isn't. I mean,
It's luck and paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have to also notice when you get bingo. And if it's like this game, it was kind of like anybody who yelled bingo. At one point, at first they were checking, and then eventually they were just like, okay, it's honor system. So literally
Here, have some
anyone who yelled bingo got a prize. So like, but in like actual bingo, I think the first person who yells bingo gets a prize. So you have to like, basically, especially if you're working multiple cards, it's better if you know what you're waiting for, because then you can yell it first when you hear it. Like you don't have to wait to like mark it and stuff. So,
Got it.
yeah, I've enjoyed it a surprising amount.
There's like, in our area, there's like drag bingo, and that sounds like hella fun. Where like
Yeah, that
drag
would be.
queens
Yeah.
are calling bingo. Like, I'd go
That'd
to
be
that
so
in a
fun.
heartbeat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we go over Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'll see if they're running it. Thanksgiving drag. If they are, game on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a gay man will be calling it. That's my game on.
That's very good. What else
Do you want me to just keep rolling through?
Yeah, keep going.
My list? Okay. Oh my gosh. The thing I've been like most obsessed with, I would say, is I cannot get enough of these Bon Appetit videos.
Oh my
they're
god,
so great.
Aaron, did you see the one that came out today? Because I was going to bring this.
No, what was it?
Okay, Brad and Maddie Matheson go noodling for catfish.
Wow.
Really?
I will say I have mostly only been watching the ones of like recipes I'm interested in making, but they have like so fucking many of those. They're all like savory dinner things, and they're all so amazing. I just love those people so much, and I did get a subscription to Bon Appetit magazine. I'm so excited about it. Nice. Okay. But I haven't watched them.
Did you watch the one where Emil Stanek like put different pieces of rice under a microscope? That came out recently too.
I didn't. No. I'm just like looking through and being like, oh man, I would love to make that for dinner. Let me watch that video.
It's so interesting. It's so funny because like I feel like every person that I know over the age of like 20. Ben, how old are you? 23?
24.
24. Like loves Bon Appetit, but I feel like there are many different reasons for it. Like their YouTube channel specifically. Like the things that you're describing as motivations for watching these videos have not crossed my mind
I hardly watch those.
I love them so much.
I watch them make stuff, but it's never because I think I'm gonna make it. Like sometimes, like we made those cookies, but like I didn't go into that video expecting to make them. Like I watch them because like it's like the weirder the better for me. Like the 3-part one where they're just trying to make sourdough donuts. Like that one is like
the best.
Constantly revisited. And this one, holy shit! Like this is gonna be a slightly stale recommendation by the time this comes out, but like everyone needs to watch Brad Leone and Maddie Matheson noodling for catfish in I forget what state they're in, but
probably
like
Louisiana or something.
It's so fucking funny because like the whole reason that they made this video was because Brad suggested this in a video he made with Maddie in the test kitchen. Maddie is like another chef, like a year ago, and people won't leave him alone about it. Neither of them. And so they just decided to go do it. But like Maddie Matheson is not into it, and it is very dangerous.
Oh no.
Do you know what noodling is? Because I didn't.
Yeah, is it when you grab them, you put your hand in their mouth and catch them that way? You do eventually put your hand in their mouth, but you start with your feet because you have to get them out of like a hole that they're in. So they basically first grab onto your feet, and then you have to like spread your feet apart so that it like locks them in and pull them out with your legs and then grab them with your hands. It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. You are in a creek up to your neck trying to get catfish to bite you.
Fuck. God,
that sounds
that's wild.
So crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that we're talking about the same people and the same like the same YouTube channel. Like that's insane to me because like the videos I watch are like so different. They're just like, here's a delicious meal and here's some tips how to make it. I made one of the meals. In fact, I think that it was the first one that got suggested to me. It was coq au vin in the Instapot, and I was like, "Oh, I'm here for this." And then I watched it, and like 2 days later, I made it. 2 days later, I made it, and like honestly, it was one of the best things I've ever made, and like one of my favorite things I've ever eaten. Like,
wow,
truly intensely delicious. And so since then, I've just been like, and everyone's so great, and they're all have such like funny rapport with one another.
Yeah, it seems like a nice place to work.
So lovely. It does. It really does.
I think someone in the comments of that video, the one that you sent us, the coq au vin video, said that the reason that they like to watch both Carla and Brad is that they describe. And I think the other ones really do this too, to differing degrees, but they don't talk to you like a teacher or an instructor. They talk to you like a friend, like when they're explaining how to make the recipe. Which I think I've been watching
a lot with like Molly as I don't remember her last name.
Molly Baz. Baz.
Molly Baz. And she's awesome, and I really love her, and she'll do like a happy dance every time she takes a bite of what she just made. But yeah, I really love it because it feels just like that. It feels like a friend. It feels like they believe in me, and I'm like really, I feel empowered, and I also like learn a ton of cool tips. Like they're always like, you could do this, but like try it like this, or like traditionally it's like this, but like you can totally get away with doing it like this. So great. Love them so much.
Have you fucked with the Making Perfect series at all yet?
I've saved a lot of those videos because they were like a fucking hour.
Yeah, they're really great though. The whole series is great.
And I've dog-eared some. It's like how to butcher a whole hog, how to butcher a whole, cow, how
I didn't
to
know they did that.
fillet a whole tuna. Like it seems like an endless supply of things. I'm like really psyched to watch.
I wish
They're
Emil
great.
did more videos. He's so funny.
He's really funny. I love every time he shows up in other people's.
Yes.
Who?
His
Emil.
name's Emil Stanek. And he's done a few videos recently, but like the most fun is when he shows up in Claire's videos. 'Cause I think they're like good friends, and he'll just like pop up and just do and say just really weird things, which is my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Bon Appetit. Big shout out.
Oh man, I freaking love them.
Can I do one more little, can I prompt Ben for a little life update?
Yeah.
Okay, Ben, you moved and
I
then
did.
you left again.
Yes.
Would you like to explain yourself?
Sure. So I'm moving back to Boston.
Yeah.
But I need to finish my master's, so I need to take one more class and write a thesis this quarter, which I will be done with by December. And so, because it was just easier and made more sense logistically, we moved all of our stuff back, and I found a furnished room to rent for a few months, which is where I currently am now. Is it my turn to do all my stuff, or is it your
Sure.
turn next?
I want you to tell the people about your cat update, though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Oh, okay, good.
I was asking if because have you done your stuff yet?
I basically went through my whole list already, like all the stuff we did at the beginning.
Okay, gotcha.
But before you start, Ben, I want you to talk about your cat stuff.
I almost spit sugary, hot liquid all over my laptop.
So, loyal listeners will remember that a couple weeks ago I gave an update on how my cats weren't totally getting along yet still, and we still had to keep them separated. But we were hoping... we had to keep them separated. And I think I mentioned then that we were hoping that the move would kind of reset things, and just because we were almost there, but like something clicked for Como like right before we moved, where things were a lot better and we could have them together a lot of the day, but it still wasn't all the way there. And we were hoping like maybe this move will like just kind of make it click, and she won't be an invader anymore. They'll be exploring new territory together. And, she'll go from being something brand new to being something, well, not brand new, it's been 8 fucking months, Como, but something new to being something familiar about the old place that he was at. And exactly that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They are like 100% fine now.
200.
200.
Correct.
And like even the first day we were there, Hannah and Ian were there because they picked us up from the airport. And Hazel, did I say airport?
No, I did.
Carport.
Surfboard.
Hazel was like scared to come out of her carrier at first, and then we were like, you know what, why don't we try letting Como in here, because he was not scared to go to his carrier and was just running around the apartment like yelling and nuzzling everything, because that's what Como does. And so we let him in, and she like yelled and ran up to him and nuzzled him, and like was almost like following him around while he was exploring. Like it just like gave her confidence to see him. It was so freaking cute.
It was so cute.
They're just like being, they're not like cleaning each other yet or anything, although Kylie's been keeping me updated. They occasionally have like, little spats with each other, but it's just like normal cat stuff at this point. Like the first day we were there, we felt comfortable enough to leave them alone when we left the house, which we had never done before for a long period of time, and also to sleep with them not in separate rooms, which we hadn't really ever done also. And then look, the first night, it was just like almost immediately, it was so much better. But apparently Como's been doing this thing when he wakes up from sleeping where he like walks over and grabs Hazel's neck and almost looks like he's like gnawing on her fur. and she doesn't ever seem to have a problem with it. So I'm wondering if that's some kind of like weird grooming thing that's starting to happen. Because like if they get to the point where they're grooming each other at all, that's like they've gone from tolerating to like being good friends. So
Ben's making
I'm
like
hoping that
Italian
happens.
chef hands.
Yeah, he's like doing okay. He's like, mwah. That's like, mwah.
It's just
Perfecto.
it's such a big relief. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such great news. And there you have it, folks. If you're having trouble with your cat's acting, just fucking move.
Move across the whole country. Yeah.
Move across the country. Like,
I don't think the across the country part is necessary.
Leave friends and family behind. Quit your job.
Mm-hmm.
New place. New
Doesn't matter what
furniture.
country you're in. Just pick the other side of it and move to it.
That's right.
And they both did really well on the airplane too.
Nice.
Not Como did not do as well as he did when we moved out here, but it was his second time on an airplane in a year, so all things considered, he did great.
All four of you were just delirious. It was
We were very tired.
very funny day.
Oh god,
Aaron,
never ever take a 6 a.m. flight.
yeah.
If you have the option to take a red eye or a 6 a.m. flight, take the red eye. Because you're gonna wake up at fucking 3 a.m. to get your 6 a.m. flight anyway. Or at least you are when you live far enough from the airport.
Did we show Aaron that stoplight that we saw?
Oh, I don't know if we did.
No, I don't remember seeing a stoplight.
Well, was it a stoplight though,
Officer.
or was it a...
All right. Basically, we were at a red light, and then it turned green, but also stayed red.
Oh my god.
And then turned yellow and stayed red. Still.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So you just stayed at it?
No, we went when it was green.
We went when it was green, but
When
we
it was
were
green-red?
really confused.
Yeah, it was wild.
Turns out it was just an early Christmas decoration. We got confused.
It was fixed, to the city of Boston's credit, it was fixed later that night when we drove through it again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But I'm glad we got to see it and got a picture of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have more stuff.
Go for it.
When we moved back, I also spent 2 weeks in Boston.
Yeah.
And we got to visit all the fam. We my dad made us pizzas on the grill for my birthday.
Yeah. Happy
Wow.
birthday.
Great. Yeah, I'm 24
birthday.
now.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Welcome to the life.
And then the next day at 7:30 in the morning, Lucas got married.
Yeah.
So now,
Wow.
all-
Early.
Yeah.
So now all in the second week of September is my birthday, followed by Lucas and Federica's wedding anniversary, followed a few days later by Hannah's wedding anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they get married so early in the morning?
Great question.
Not sure. And the time did
I'm
change.
getting married in the morning.
The time did change a few times, so I think there were some strategic angles that we weren't necessarily privy to. But Ben and I were the only ones in attendance besides the officiant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
Wow.
fun. And then we went out to breakfast.
What about your parents?
They will be in attendance at the next wedding, which is
They
the
wanted
second
they
of
wanted
3.
both sets of parents to be able to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I got you.
Federica doesn't have any siblings, so we got like a free pass because we're not like
Nice.
yeah, like so.
Also, because I
You
can't be
got-
there for the next thing.
You guys were like under the table guests.
Yeah.
yeah. Which was good because I took pictures and Ben took video, so it was good that we were there.
Mhm.
And they needed witnesses, I guess, too, right?
I guess
Nope.
you don't need them in Massachusetts, which is weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I needed them for my wedding, but they don't. That was in New York.
Weird.
You can get married without a witness.
Yeah, I guess if like the officiant has to be like whatever they have to be, however you be that.
Nice. Good. Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said, well thought out.
Well thought out.
Yeah,
Well articulated. Articulated.
yeah. So you had an exciting week there,
I
Ben.
did. That first week was a lot. Oh god, and then fucking. So we were expecting the moving company to come on Thursday. That was the estimate they gave us. We arrived on a Sunday.
Hmm.
They didn't end up coming, and that would have been fine. So parking's difficult in Boston, obviously, especially for like a moving truck. But if they had come on like a weekday in the afternoon or in the like around noon ish, when most people are at work, there's a lot of empty spaces, and it would have been probably fine. But they called me on Friday and told me they were coming on Saturday. The window they gave me was like 3 to 5.
Wow.
So I was waiting for them. Kylie was on Cape because that was her brother's birthday.
Oh no.
So I was alone waiting for them. And then they didn't arrive until I think like 6:30. And that was because they were in an 18 fucking wheeler.
Oh.
Which I did not realize was going to be the case. I thought that they were gonna I was under the impression they were gonna use an 18 wheeler to bring it across the country, and then they had like some kind of warehouse situation where they would offload it into smaller trucks for the delivery. But that did not happen.
Oh my
It
God.
was just so, and there was no parking because it was like dinner time on Saturday in Boston. So what they did was, it's kind of hard to describe, but like we're on Commonwealth Avenue in Brighton at our new apartment is, and there's like this weird thing on that street where there's like the main road, because it's like a pretty big main road, and then there's like a little like, how would you describe it, Hannah? You know what I'm talking about? That little like cutoff.
Yeah.
There's like a third lane basically, but it's like separated by a sidewalk.
Yeah.
But it's still Com Ave, and you can there are like little openings you can get into it sometimes.
Yeah.
And so they parked like in that, blocking traffic.
Oh God.
And I had to, at dusk, so not great visibility, and on the other side of a hill, had to stand outside and direct cars to go get out of this like little side lane thing.
Oh my God.
For like an hour probably, while they offloaded everything into the
Holy
apartment.
shit.
Oh my God.
It was incredibly stressful because I was alone, and it was only 2 guys that were in the moving company. And it just was the fucking worst. But then all of our stuff was finally there, and we got to sit on our couch and sleep on our bed.
Nice.
And and that was like, so we had been sleeping on a slightly popped air mattress in Irvine.
Gently popped.
Sleeping on the floor a lot of the nights because it just wasn't even worth it. And then we ordered a different air mattress so that we could have a place to sleep when we arrived. And when we arrived, it was supposed to have been delivered, but the box was not there.
Yeah, they looked everywhere.
Nor was the blanket that we ordered to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we arrived with nowhere to sleep. And so Ian brought us to Target in Boston, but it was Target on September 1st, which in a college town means that it was extremely busy and extremely empty.
Yeah.
Like no inventory. We went to the air mattress aisle and the shelves were emptied.
Totally bare.
No. That's just how air mattresses come.
They're made of air.
They're still there. You just kind of gotta
There wasn't a single goddamn one, so we bought some fucking sleeping bags and a blanket and
oh my God.
like slept on the floor. But then the next day, mysteriously, both the blanket and the air mattress showed up in the entranceway to the apartment building.
It's crazy.
Wow.
It was pretty wild. So we did have a place to sleep, and then we had our bed.
Nice. And they were like definitely, by the way, Aaron, definitely delivered before that, because in the city, Amazon takes pictures when they drop a box.
We get pictures.
I don't get pictures.
Wow.
And we could like see where they would have been.
Yeah. It was very
strange. But they showed up again, which is great.
Did you walk through the halls of your apartment being like, I'm gonna sleep on the floor tonight? Like in a threatening manner?
That might have done it.
Yeah, that's probably why they showed up.
I don't know. I don't even care at this point. I was just so happy we had a place to sleep.
Yeah.
The air mattress wasn't great, but it was not the floor, so.
Yeah, now you
And by the way,
bed.
at least like the floor in our Irvine apartment in the bedroom was carpeted. So like it wasn't that bad. I mean, we were still sleeping on the floor when we slept on the floor, but all of the floors in the Boston apartment are hardwood.
Yeah.
So it was like
not even softwood.
Not even softwood. Not even pillowwood.
Oh, I love pillowwood.
I love it.
That'd be a nice name.
I insist on it.
That'd be a nice name for like a farm or something.
Yeah.
Pillowwood, yeah. Pillowwood.
Nice. So that was the first week I was there. And then the second week, kind of as a surprise, I had a bunch of job interviews.
Wow.
Because I applied for a job at Harvard before I left.
Harvard.
And then I got an email, I think like on the Tuesday after we arrived, about having a phone interview with like an HR lady. And so I did that. And she asked me during that phone interview if I was planning on being in Boston anytime soon so I could do some in-person interviews. And I was like, actually, I'm here right now for another week and a half.
How about right friggin' now?
Yeah, honestly. And to her credit, she crammed in 8 interviews in 3 days. And like my last one was like on the Friday and I was leaving on Saturday. So like we got it all kind of under the wire.
Nice.
But it's looking good in terms of getting that job, hopefully. Nothing official yet, but we'll see.
If you don't get it, if you don't if you don't get it, then I'll edit this part out so you're not humiliated.
Get it, then I edit. Well, now you can't.
Well, if you know by tomorrow, I guess, because I have to edit tomorrow. And also, do you want me to like bleep out when you said the name of the organization?
What? Harvard?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Look. They're not going to listen to this podcast.
Oh, you mean
God
like,
bless them.
Oh, you mean they would have a problem with me talking about it?
Maybe.
Would they?
Can't see why they would.
Okay.
If they don't give him the job, then fuck them.
I mean, if
And
anyone for some reason is listening, I really am excited about that job and potentially having it. I like genuinely think it's a really great job for me. So I hope I get it. And I liked everyone I met with.
Let's send them this clip.
I met like
Don't listen to the other clips.
One of my
Don't
interviews.
listen to the other episode. He talks about fucking Pokemon, but this one is totally fine. Sorry, Ben.
One of my quote unquote interviews was
Quarter.
was basically
Hope
just
you
like
didn't say that during the interview.
just like a 2.5 hour long. There we go. 2.5 hour long talk with a really great and interesting physics professor there who has just done so many interesting things and like taught himself a whole bunch of things about electronics to the point where he wrote a textbook about it, even though he has no formal electrical engineering training.
Wow.
Holy shit.
And has also done like a lot of research in his career on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Awesome.
Oh.
Which is
I was
really
just watching
neat.
a video about that.
He was probably, if that video mentioned any sort of like scientific instrumentation or telescopes that had been used for it, he was probably a part of that project.
Yeah, like the project like SETI or something like that?
Yeah, he's like one of the main people in SETI.
Ah, so cool.
That's really neat.
And he's like around the lab I'd be working in all the time. Like I'd be working around him a lot. And
So
he's
you'd
just
be the
like,
first to know about aliens, and you better fucking tell us.
Better tell us.
I would be.
We can come up with a code.
I would be the first person he would tell.
We can come up with a code if you like weren't allowed to tell us like right now. Okay, just say like I hate stroop waffles now, and that way we'll know there are aliens. Because I know that would never happen, but then I would know that you know about aliens.
Okay, so do you want me to
we've
bleep
told
out
everyone the secret code.
Do you want me to bleep out the secret code?
No, if we can retroactively do it, it's fine.
Okay.
And he wouldn't say it on pod. Because, like, fuck our listeners, they don't get to know.
Oh,
He could just tell us. He could just
like
tell
send
us,
you a
be
Slack
like,
message.
Hey guys, I hate stroop waffle now, and we'll be like, fucking knew it. Fucking knew it.
Oh my god. What? Anything else, Ben, for you?
Yeah. I also watched 2 shows that I really liked. Well, okay, one of them I have really complicated feelings about. So, I think I mentioned before the show Succession on this podcast, and how I tried to watch it and didn't enjoy it because it's just about rich people being rich.
I had the same
HBO.
problem, yeah.
But then I watched it. I heard a lot of people, because season 2 is like airing right now, and I've been hearing a lot of people, including Mike Birbiglia and stuff, talking about how incredibly good it is, and especially the second season. And I was like, man, maybe I'll give this show another try. And I guess I didn't realize that it was like supposed to be a black comedy and like semi-satirical. Like, you know, you're not supposed to really, and not that I got this impression in the first place, but you're not supposed to be rooting for anyone in that show. You know, like you're kind of supposed to dislike them, but they do a really good job of like they do a really good job of making complex characters that you sometimes feel bad for and then right away hate again because they're just so shitty. But I don't know. The music is amazing in that show, and I think I would recommend it. Although, like I said, it's one of those shows where you don't like anyone, so if that's not the kind of thing for you, then like that's fine. That's might not be your cup of tea. I totally get it.
I don't really like tea either, so
it's not your cup of coffee.
Decaf coffee.
But then,
you know,
the other show that I watched, it was actually this week. I watched all of it, and this is straight up a Kylie obsession that I'm taking. But I have no complicated feelings about this. I just love it. It's so great. It's an anime called Carole and Tuesday. We
almost started watching that today.
Oh, you should. I just want to send you guys the opening and have you watch it and get your live reactions.
Okay. Are there any sand fights in it? I'm not really into that. All right. Nice music. Oh, really good music.
Is this the show you sent us the clip from, Ben?
Yeah.
Huh.
Nice.
I like which is which. Are those their names?
Carole's the black one.
I like Carole's dancing a lot.
I like all the dancing in this video.
Are they friends or are they like gal pals?
Oh, okay. That's a great question, and we will discuss that.
Oh, they're musicians. That's so nice.
This is so different from like any anime I've ever seen.
You mean the animation style?
Well, yes, but also like the subject matter.
Yeah. That animation style isn't what it's like for the whole show, but it is still really good. So it's directed by the same guy who directed Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, which may not mean anything to either of you, but if anyone listening watches a lot of anime, those are two like really highly regarded ones that are very good.
Haven't you talked about Samurai Champloo in the context of his music? Yeah.
Yes, because Nujabes did all the music for Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
And it's also a very musical show. And this one, so those two singers were the two singers, like the two main characters. The two singing voices of the main characters. It's a musical anime about those two girls, Carole and Tuesday, who are like trying to become a successful singing duo. And Carole writes the music and Tuesday writes the lyrics for all of their songs. And it also just like kind of incidentally takes place on Mars. But that's just sort of like to set it in the future, because there's a whole part of the storyline is that most of the popular music written at that point in history, which is 50 years after we've colonized Mars, is written by AI. And they're like kind of one of the only semi-successful or like becoming successful groups that's writing their own music themselves.
Wow.
And people are kind of
a little unrealistic.
Yeah, but did they ever have like AI music fights?
Music fights?
Mars sand fights?
Yeah, like sand fights.
No, they don't have Mars sand fights.
Are they gal pals?
Okay, I think that they are. It's not canon yet, but Kylie and I both like.
Yeah,
you should.
I'm like pretty. Yeah, like I mean, especially like
that vibe.
Yeah, I mean that song. First of all, there's also like they have another song in the show called. Oh, I should mention like all of the music was like written for the anime, and all of the songs are actually like originally recorded in English, even for the Japanese version. There's no Japanese version of it. So there's Japanese voice actors and American, or not always American, but English singers, which is really interesting. And the singer for Carole is actually black, which I think is good because that was a chance to actually hire a black woman for an anime. And that's another thing, like in terms of representation, especially if they do end up being canonically gay, which I feel like they will. Like, I would be kind of annoyed if they're not. This show has a lot more than most animes even having a main character who's black is like really unusual for anime, I feel like.
Yeah.
And like people who are Martian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, she's from Earth. She's a refugee from Earth, technically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's part of her backstory.
Interesting.
Dang.
Yeah. But there's so much original music because part of the storyline is them entering like the equivalent of like American Idol, but on Mars. And you get to, that's like where that clip I sent you of that guy dancing is from. Which, by the way, how fucking good was that animation?
Yeah, it's
for that
really
dancing
good.
clip. It's like wild. That he's one of the people in that competition. So you see a lot of like, it's just great. It's so nice. It's so sweet. And the music is so good and like uplifting. It was really nice because like, you know, this is my first week being separated from Kylie and living alone. And it's like, it was just a nice like uplifting anime to watch. And it's still airing in Japan currently. The first 12 episodes of it are on Netflix right now. And the theories on the internet right now is that we'll get the second season about 2 months after the finale airs in Japan, which is going to be the beginning of October. So we'll probably get it around December. Cool. But you can also watch it illegally if you're hankering for more. Which I'm considering because I really want to watch more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Good. Well,
Would you say the name of... Would you say the name of that other anime was? Were you saying Samurai Shampoo?
Samurai Champloo.
Do you know what Samurai Shampoo would be? Head off shoulders.
That was good. I like that.
Wow.
Thanks. I was patiently waiting to say that one for the whole time.
Oh my gosh. I feel like everything happened to Ben and nothing happened to me. I did go to that wedding.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been a wild 2 weeks.
Something happened to us, Hannah.
What?
So, listeners, the other day, it was Tuesday, Hannah messages our Slack group and says, I went to the dentist today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, this was crazy.
No cavities. And that was surprising to me because I had also gone to that very day and had 5 cavities. But I hadn't been to the dentist in like 3 years. So it was just so fucking random that Hannah...
That's insane.
I was feeling so low about my 5 cavities. And Hannah was like walking out of nowhere. Guys, I went to the dentist today and I don't have any cavities.
Like, did you think I was fucking with you when I first said that?
No, I didn't. I thought, well, of course this happens. She's always trying to one-up me before I've even upped. No, I was really proud of you. I was tickled. I was like laughing so hard. I was like, no fucking way. How fucking random.
That's insane.
That's like the first time in like 2 or 3 years that I have not had to get a filling as a follow-up to my cleaning. So
yeah.
When was the last time you went to the dentist before now?
Like March.
Oh, so you're like you're being like responsible about your every 6 months thing.
I am now, but it's new for me.
It's been a while for me.
I'm gonna be. I was just in between dentists, so I'm back on that dentist
in between
bullshit.
Relationships.
Yeah,
with my dentist.
Relationships. Yeah.
My last visit with my last dentist, I didn't feel great about, so I just stopped.
Didn't go back.
Yeah. I just felt weird about
This
it.
is the thing that I'm realizing is like there's a lot of medical professionals of all various types in this world. You don't have to settle for one that annoys you, whatever the reason might be. Like,
exactly.
Unless they're like really a specialist in a very like important thing,
right?
You know, then maybe
that's
like grin
definitely
and bear
an exception.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Grin and bear it.
Yeah. Your teeth. Oh, teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Who's got stuff left? Did we do it?
I have one small thing left,
okay.
Which is I have been listening to a new audiobook available on Audible about it's a biography, a 12-hour biography about Ann Lister.
Nice.
And it's very good. One thing about it is it's pretty thorough, and it more so like the material I've been listening to or consuming so far about Ann Lister has been very high level and very like, you know, overview sort of thing. And this one is definitely more detailed. And, you know, it's a little rough because she kind of sucked. Not all the time, but like, I think, you know, there were definitely some like inexcusable things that she did in her life. So I'm having this like, when she was in boarding school, she started an affair, as you know, she was like 16 or so, with another student, and was totally consensual. And they, you know, made plans to live together once her name was Eliza Rain. Once Eliza Rain turned 21, and then Anne got tired of her and kind of like ghosted her, basically.
Which was really easy back then.
Yeah, exactly. And later in life, due to something else, basically, Eliza ended up in a mental institution, and basically for like a menstrual institution. You know, it was a Wild West back then. A mental institution, basically for like saying something true about her like her adopted father. Basically like being like, well, you have a mistress or something. It was like something, she said something true that a man didn't like, and so back then you could just be like, she's crazy. And Anne basically was like nervous that Eliza was going to end up talking about their affair, and basically was like encouraging them to keep her in the mental institution and to declare her insane. She was basically like trying to get them to say that she was insane so that she would be in a mental institution for the rest of her life, so that if she said anything about their connection, it would not be taken seriously, which is like
Jesus,
so terrible. And she, you know, so I'm going through this like thing of like, you know, obviously I'm still like really excited about learning about this person, and you know, she was remarkable in a lot of ways, but I'm kind of like now getting some realness. There's some realness, you know, and so. And it's interesting. I feel like we're not, the You're Wrong About podcast talks about this a lot. Like, we don't, as a culture, have a healthy way of like relating to people, like historical people or celebrities. It's
or
either
even just
they're a hero.
Accepting the fact that people contain multitudes.
Exactly. Like, they're either a hero or a villain. And so it's hard to like, kind of like, Sarah Marshall does a really wonderful job of being like, people are just human beings, and we contain multitudes, we contain nuance, and that you shouldn't like write somebody off or vilify them. So I'm having this like hard time of like how to hold this person in my mind, which is really fascinating because, you know, I don't want to ignore anything, and I don't want to, you know, overwrite anything, but I'm still really interested in like learning about her. And, so yeah, it's interesting. You know, I don't think I would like her very much or really respect, though I don't respect a lot of the decisions that she made in regards to other people. And I think that's a really interesting, I find myself in an interesting, unexpected place.
That is interesting. That. I think that's one of my favorite things about having listened to You're Wrong About is how it's like gotten me to think more like that. And beyond all the interesting things in like history you learn in that show, just like thinking about how human behavior there's not really a great explanation for it a lot of the time. And people we all just kind of do things as we do them, you know, and there's a lot of nuance and intricacy to everything.
I think
nothing is ever as simple as it seems.
Yeah. I think it's hard. Like, I don't even think that's just a public figures thing. Like, I feel like if you really thought, if anybody really thought about it, they could, like, probably think of a person or a group of people in their past who probably views them as a type of villain or a type of, like, bad person in some way. You know, like, nobody thinks of, most people don't think of themselves that way, but, like, you know, you can't you know, you also contain multitudes. I don't know. I think about that sometimes. Like I'll like think back on like the last interaction I had with some people, and it's like I'm at a point in my sort of my life where I recognize that not everybody's opinion of me matters, so I can think on it and it doesn't like stress me out. But like the fact is, like, there are definitely people in the world who, like, if you mention my name, they wouldn't be like, oh, she's great. You know, like, you know, which is just
You're
interesting
right,
to think about. I don't know.
I think like some of my favorite times have been when someone says something or presents something that they believe that I like never even considered, like a point of view or perspective. And Sarah Marshall definitely did that for me when she
does that all the time.
Yeah, she doesn't believe in evil people. Like, she doesn't think a person is evil. And that sort of like is one of those things. It's like, I forget where I heard it. It's like it's not something that's hard to, once somebody says that, it's not hard to think about and then believe and then also agree with. The hard part is like having that idea in the first place, like to realize that our brains have been programmed to believe like, oh yeah, people are evil, serial killers, they're just evil people. But like, that's so one-dimensional, but that's not something you ever...
So reductive.
Huh?
It's so reductive.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not something that, you know, my watch, like, tried to listen to all of that. It's not something that I've ever realized that I thought until she said that. You know, it's not something I would have ever thought about. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like I won't say who, but I have a friend who, like, doesn't believe in forgiveness, right? And that was, like, when I heard that was a concept I had, like, never thought about.
I was about to bring up that same example.
Yeah, and that was just, like, such an interesting... That's not something I necessarily can say I believe in or not, but it was so cool to, like, hear about, like, that perspective.
Just to even think
life.
that was an option.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, one that I'm leaning more and more towards every day.
As you dwell upon it in your heart.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not, it like sounds harsh. That's not like, you know, believing that you should, like, somebody does something bad and you should never talk to them again.
Yeah.
But just like the whole paradigm of it and the application.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to that opinion that
exactly
you don't really get from just saying jump in forgiveness.
That opinion contains multitudes.
So in summation, I think it's hard for me to know how to learn about this person who I'm really interested in for very personal reasons in a neutral way, in this way, without being offended at the things that she did that I find completely disagreeable or unforgivable and inexcusable, but also, like, so not covering those things up and not making them, you know, turn me off of, like, learning more about her. So anyway, just a little personal wrestle of mine.
Well,
wow, that is a very loud car.
That's a car?
Yeah.
Wow, is it in the room? Is your room the garage? Well, should we wrap it up? I don't know, without our typical structure, I just don't know. We probably don't need to do homework exactly. Unless you guys...
Let's do it anyway.
Still do our social meds.
All right. Do homework if you feel so inclined, and do social meds. And I will go first. My name's Hannah. I live in Massachusetts, and my favorite color... that's not what we're doing.
Ooh, what is your favorite color?
I was just panicking because I'm not sure. Probably like magenta.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really think I have homework from anything I've said, except, like, if someone whose ears this is hitting, who has not already seen it, watches Terrace House or Steven Universe, because of me, just please let me know. And if you have watched it already and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it, because I'm dying. Like, I have all these theories, and Ian is very good at listening, but he doesn't always like to play in the space with me. All right. And my Twitter and Instagram are Anthropology. And I have another podcast called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams. And it's fun. And I love our cousin Rachel very much. Shout outs to Rachel.
Yeah. Shout outs to Rachel.
That's all my homework.
Is it me next?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I've got homework for you. I've got listen to B. Steadwell's new album, Queer Pop Songs, on Spotify. Grab Skipbo from your local game store. Play it. It's fucking fun. We've been skipping every day. Check out those Bon Appetit videos. No matter what you're into, they're gonna have a video for you, and it's gonna be fucking delightful. You're gonna love it. Check out the Gentleman Jack audiobook or book. It's called Gentleman Jack. It's by Angela Steedle, and it's translated by Katie Derbyshire because it was actually written in German. Isn't that fun?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Totally random, I think. Because it was like the diaries were written in English and then she translated them, she wrote it in German, and then the book was translated. It's a whole thing. I don't have social media, but I did just renew earnben.com for another year.
God.
So
Thank God.
You get a whole another year of that. Goodness.
Me turn?
You're the only one left.
My homework is definitely to watch Carole and Tuesday on Netflix. Also, unlike a lot of animes, all of the music is readily available on Spotify. There's a playlist someone made called Carole and Tuesday that's all of the music, all the songs from the show, I think, or maybe not quite all of them, most of them. And it's really great. I've been listening to it, that playlist, like, on loop for a few days.
Nice.
Because I missed the show. Also, Succession is good, but if you don't like it, that's fine.
Wow, damned with faint praise there, Ben.
It's just, I struggle to, like, I didn't want to not watch it while I was watching it. Like, I kept wanting to watch more, but it wasn't because I loved it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle to, like, readily recommend it to everyone in the world, because it's definitely not for everyone, I would say.
Did they have a lot of cliffhangers?
No.
Okay.
Kind of.
Go ahead.
Not really.
What about cliffbangers?
A lot of cliffbangers. The acting, I should have mentioned, like, in addition to the music in that show, the acting is also, like, consistently very, very, very good.
In which one?
In Succession.
Okay.
My Twitter is Nicely Proved Ben. Might not be as many pictures of my cats because I don't live with them currently, although I'll post the cutest ones that Kylie sends me.
Good.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah. I miss them a lot. Kylie sends me regular videos and pictures to keep me, what is the word I'm looking for? Happy?
Alive.
I don't know, happy.
Abreast.
Alive, yeah. Abreast.
Speaking of missing cats, just real quick little anecdote. I ended up, as I do at most outings, with a group of other cat people at the company outing, and we were all showing each other pictures of our cats and talking about cats and stuff. It's a gift that I have. I just find them. And by the time I was done talking about my cats, I missed them. I had seen them that morning, but I still miss them very much.
Wow.
Yeah. So I get you. I feel your feelings, Ben.
Yeah. I miss my kitties.
Feel your feelings. Yeah. Cool. Well, podcast things. You can call us if you want to be cool like Lucas and Federica. We have a voicemail, 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Blaze it.
I almost forgot to say blaze it. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, exactly. But don't dial blaze it, because that's ridiculous. We're on Twitter at
It's not part of the number.
It's not a number, it's the words. We're on Instagram at WayTooBroad. We have an email address, waytoobroad@gmail.com. You can send us any little notes you want about anything. Tell us what you're obsessed with this week. And we also have a website where you can find any of the stuff that all the social medias and stuff that we just talked about, and probably I don't know how I'm going to go into detail on these topics in the notes, but I'll do the best that I can. So at least some information about all the shit we just talked about. And listen, everyone, I hope that this worked for you. We're going to be back to our normal format next week. I know some people are more a fan of the structured part of the episodes, and some people are more a fan of the unstructured part. So if you are the former, then just hold tight, and next week will be our regular selves.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be back, baby.
We just had so much to talk about.
Yo.
Yeah, we did.
So much.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So, yeah, so that's that. And thanks for listening, and we love you.
We love you.
And, oh my God. Okay. And the podcast candle is now extinguished.
Goodbye.
Hey, I have something. I want you to tell me if it's something.
What?
It's been a while. Is that anything?
I like your cardigan.
Oh, thank you.
Knit. It's knit. It's really knit. It's really knit.
Thank you. I was at real risk of my worst nightmare, aka being cold while recording a podcast tonight. So
Now you just have a cold instead.
I'm getting over one, but I put on my cardigan because it's knit, and then I put a blanket on my lap like a grandma.
So grandma. You're just rocking Hundo Grando vibes right now.
Hundo Grando.